Yo, what's good? It's your man 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops. Tonight I want to do a video about the Toronto Raptors and how we all need to realize that they are officially in win now mode. I'm going to dive into that in this video. If you like it, please smash the like button for me, hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. Truly appreciate all the love and support, all the comments, all the conversation. The reason why I wanted to do this is because I was watching this Rico Hines run on YouTube, and I watched Christian Colo, their first round pick out of the University of Arizona, about 6'11", big man, known for his defense, a lot of talent, a lot of potential, especially on the defensive end, being a defensive anchor. Really athletic, has really, I think, a nice ceiling for what they're looking for. But I remember when I was watching, I kept waiting to kind of see like this competitive edge, to see what they talk about, like being that dog in a player. You know what I mean? Like that competitiveness that's almost like over the top, over the edge. I want to dunk on everybody. I want to block everyone's shot. I'm a little bit almost too physical at times, but it's still within the game. I am so competitive. I can't wait for an opportunity, right? A chip on your shoulder type, the Montrezl Harrell, the Patrick Beverly type, because I'm looking at Christian Colo and I'm realizing that that's going to be his role. Like, how do we think Chris Boucher earned his place in the NBA? He earned his place in the NBA by being a dog, by being a competitor, by going hard every single time, running up and down the court. How do you think Pascal Siakam got into the league and stays in the league? How do you think Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, that is what this team is made of, is guys who love to compete. They're a pack of dogs who go out there every single night and coming at you, coming at your neck. They can't wait to get up into you on defense. They're physical, they're intense, they're consistent, they play together. They're a unit. And there's a certain edge that you have to have about you. And when I kept watching Christian Colo, you could tell that he's thinking and he's calculating. And I understand in this type of setting, it's what it's for. But I think the expectation for him was to be ready to contribute this year. And it started having me think to myself, he may not be ready. He might start off this season in the G League. And if he's starting off this season in the G League, when do they bring him back up? Whose spot is he taking? Because if you're still trying to figure it out of how to compete at this level, even in this type of a setting, you don't have 10,000, 15,000, maybe 20,000 fans screaming and yelling. Because remember, the Toronto Raptors home crowd is intense. They are intense, right? And being a number 5 seed last year, having 2 all-star level players, 1 all-NBA level player, rookie of the year. This team is going to have a target on their back. I mean, for the Toronto Raptors, they're always somewhat the hunter rather than the hunted, because they're never really expected to do as good as they do, right? They're always kind of counted out and the underdog. But at the same time, they aren't going to creep up on teams the way they did last season. And so when they're coming into games, everyone who's there, everyone who's lacing up their sneakers, knowing they're going to get playing time, has to be ready. And this Toronto Raptors team is not just getting ready to try to have a quote-unquote good year. They're not just trying to make the playoffs. They're not trying to develop. They are no longer in the development game when it comes to the actual games. The G League, yes. But what they showed you last season, it said, nah, if you're not ready, you're not playing. Delano Banton, Malachi Flynn, right? Armani Brooks. Look, if you cannot play at this level, you're not playing. Even if it means playing Pascal the most minutes per game. Fred VanVleet the second most, right? Guys are getting worn out. Hey, Precious Achua, you ready? All right, we're going to give you mad minutes because you're ready. You're coming out of Miami, coming out of the University of Memphis, right? With Anthony Penny Hardaway as your head coach, right? A guy that was known for having a high motor, played with that intensity in the NBA, right? If you're not ready to play at the expected level, you're not playing. And Christian Coloco, look, I'm not saying he's not going to be good. I'm not saying he doesn't have talent. I loved some of the lobs that I finally seen him throwing down. It was still a soft throw down. I mean, Fred threw it up to him. It was beautiful off the pick and roll. Christian Coloco caught it at the top, brought it down. He doesn't seem quite as explosive as he was in college, but I also understand that these runs are at the end of their workout day. That means that they're working on their game for hours, and then they take a break, and then they come back, and then they're hooping 5-on-5 in a very intense setting, right? So you're not going to have the same legs. But at the same time, when you see other guys like Thomas Bryant, and you see the type of energy he brought, Montrezl Harrell, the type of energy that he brought, right? You see other guys in there. I saw guards swallowing up Christian Coloco's layups. Layups. He's too often I'm seeing him lay the ball in around the basket when it needs to be exploding and slamming it down on the basket. And so I'm starting to think he's not ready. But this is the beautiful thing about it. The Toronto Raptors are built around development, which means that, hey, if you're not ready, that's okay. Our G League team is where you are going to get a chance to put it together. You're going to get a chance to put on some weight, right? Get stronger. Get that solid base in your legs and your core, right? Be able to work on different parts of your game you may not have an opportunity to in the actual games, right? So they're going to let him shoot corner threes, maybe at the top of the key as well. Pick and pop. They're going to let him do his little jump hook game that he showed at Arizona, right? They're going to let him work on these different aspects of your game. And this is a beautiful thing, right? If you follow the NBA, Jackson Hayes with the New Orleans Pelicans played one full year as a rookie, looked pretty good, but all he did was just run and jump, dunk, block shots, great athlete. But then he starts off the next season, this past season, in the G League. He's working on his offensive game. He starts playing at a high level in a more expanded offensive game. And when he comes back, all of a sudden he's hitting threes. All of a sudden he's hitting these jump shots. And you go, whoa, we didn't realize you had this. Yeah, because you use the G League for what it's for, to develop your game, especially when you already know your NBA level talent and your team is committed to you. That is likely going to be the role for Christian Coloco. And the reason why? Because they're ready to win. I did a video a long time ago talking about, if you look back in the annals, it's how do you know your team is all in on winning? And I was talking about the Golden State Warriors. The previous year, I want to say last year or the year before, the Golden State Warriors in that offseason brought in a bunch of young guys. And I said right off the bat, they're not trying to win a championship. You don't bring in young players because young players don't win championships. 99% of the time, it's veterans, guys who've been in the league 6, 7, 8 years. They're the ones who are getting to the NBA Finals because they understand the game. They understand their roles. They master their roles in their games. They're reliable. They're consistent. They show up. They can be depended upon to play a high level when it matters the most. Those are who get to the championships. And I started looking at it and I said, look, Golden State Warriors, they weren't trying to win because they're bringing in young guys. But all of a sudden, in last offseason, all of a sudden, you saw them start bringing in who? Veterans. And I said, uh-oh, watch out. I think they might be all in on this season. Watch out. Because when you start bringing in veterans, even if they don't play, their consistency in practice, their reliability to come off the bench in a pinch when you actually need them, somebody's in foul trouble, right? Somebody's injured. You know what you're going to get from them. They're reliable. They understand different aspects of the game, the nuances. You don't have to explain where to be on the court, what type of action that we're running. You don't have to hope that they remember it. You already know. You've seen it. They're validated. They've been around multiple teams, multiple contracts, different types of coaches, different types of systems. They understand. And they're professional about it. They understand that this is a craft. This is a business. This is their career. This is not just for fun. They're not trying to prove anything. They're trying to win because they know that's what is most important. So they brought in guys like Otto Porter Jr., Nemanja Bjelica, right? They brought in guys who they knew could contribute at a high level. And they did, and they won a championship. Similarly, this offseason, who did the Toronto Raptors go after? Otto Porter Jr. Who did they re-sign? Right? Thaddeus Young, Chris Boucher, right? And when you started looking at this roster, you recognize that they're legitimately going at least 10 deep. Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year. Pascal Siakam, third team All-NBA. OG Anunoby, All-NBA level defender. Fred VanVleet, all-star. Gary Trent Jr., one of the best two-way shooting guards in the NBA. That's just their starting lineup. Otto Porter Jr., who just got brought in from the NBA champion Golden State Warriors, right? Thaddeus Young, who played a great role, who's a reliable veteran. Everybody knows what he brings. Chris Boucher, who just got re-signed, right? 3-and-D big man who can block shots, runs the court. You got Precious Achua, right? Who played big minutes, especially in the playoffs. And then you got Kim Birch, who was brought in last season from the Orlando Magic, right? Tough, hard-nosed big man, does the dirty work. He knows his role. That's 10. That's 10 right there. That's not even counting guys like Delano Banton, who they're really high on. That's not even counting Juancho Hernan Gomez, who they're bringing into training camp to try to earn a roster spot and be in the rotation. That's not even talking about DJ Wilson, who's been on the roster for a while, Justin Champagnie, right? It's not even talking about these other guys who are trying to get on that third string level, right? And then this is where Christian Coloco and guys like Gabe Brown and Jeff Dowden come in. Can you get that third string opportunity? David Johnson, I'm not even seeing at these runs. I think he might still be injured. I don't know what's going on with you, but you should be here. If you're not, I don't know what you're doing. But Jeff Dowden, these guys who are going to be fighting to get into that third string. You see, that's where you want your young guys fighting. The guys who are not quite ready at that Scotty Barnes level, Precious Achua's level in terms of talent, physicality, athleticism, skill level. Guys who are not quite there trying to figure it out. You want them competing for a third string spot. Not your starting position. Not your starting position. Not even your backup position. And this is the sign that the Toronto Raptors are all in. I believe they fully are bought into Pascal Siakam is going to not just continue to be an all-NBA performer. He might start trying to catch guys in that top 15 of the league, that top 20 of the league, and start showing that, you know what, he's right there. He needs to be recognized more. He might try to get himself an MVP campaign, right, depending upon how much they win. Remember, Pascal Siakam started off last season on the injury list. Fred VanVleet ended the season on the injury list. They didn't get a chance to ball out together. Now they're starting together, building their chemistry here, right? Scotty Barnes is going to be ready. He's going to be in his bag more. OG Anunoby. Some of these guys are looking at contract extensions, right? This is where you're going to start seeing guys start playing with a different type of energy, right? They're going to be playing with a different level of intent. After next season, remember, Fred VanVleet has a player option. Gary Trent Jr. has a player option. Otto Porter Jr. has a player option. They can opt out, right? They can get extended, right? And that's what they're going to be looking for. They're going to be coming ready to go. So expect the Toronto Raptors to be all in. Don't be shocked if they're right at the top of the Eastern Conference, if not the league. I would say probably somewhere around third in the East. They're going to be playing with the edge. They're going to be pushing everybody. Everybody. And so I want to know what you all think. Where do you think the Toronto Raptors end next season? Do you think that they're all in? Where do you think Christian Coloco lands? G League, or is he going to earn a roster spot? Who do you think the final roster is going to be? I want to hear it all. You know, we're going to chop it up in the chat section. I appreciate everybody. Smash the like button for me. Helps with the algorithm. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I'm holla at y'all next time. Peace.